Hey yo,
Hey, yo.
it's the ministry. So, guys,
Some of us.
yeah, I was gonna say it's part of the ministry. Not here to link, but this is literally a direct flow from the other show that Nico and I do. So we have literally done
Really
movie
good
Mount
show,
Rushmore into Ministry of Wrestling, and
you.
joined with us. He's gone from commentator to co-host. Then the tech is in the house as well. So
Well,
yeah.
as I said, you have to tell 5 people about the other show. I didn't even know until you mentioned it on there. It's like, oh crap! I'm good.
There you go. We're spreading the word. We're spreading the word. So basically, guys, what we're doing is we're here. We're taking on the whole situation of Hell in the Cells just kicked off, and if we're going to give a prediction, we've got to give a bit of feedback. It's going to be very interesting because Nico's the only one who's actually seen the pay-per-view. I was planning on watching it tonight, but we're like, let's do some feedback. Raw had a very interesting development. We're going to talk.
Sir, plural.
Yeah. Well, the main one is Nico's House of Judgment Day. So, yeah.
Little tip. It's cool. Type in WWE, the name of the pay-per-view, highlights.
Oh, do you know what, bro?
You get to watch it in half an hour tops.
It's like your advice when you tell me watch a film in an hour and like on 1.5 speed. I feel like I need to give these stuff. I feel like I need to give these stuff their due credit, especially back in the day. WWE. I said it at the end of the last show, and I'll say it here. My old saying to people was, "My blood type is WWE." As much as I was a WCW guy at the same time as well, I appreciate what the wrestling world meant to me, and that was obviously the biggest company. I still own every game they've released. Well, not all, but yeah. But that's where
you must be kicking yourself off that last WWE game, considering how cheap it's going for now in the days of play sale. NWO edition, 40 quid.
It is what it is. They got me. If you watch the movie Mount Rushmore, the penis got you. If you're watching the Ministry of Wrestling, the NWO got me. So it is what it is. So we're here. So the very interesting thing, let's kick it off, is on this episode of the show, there is no winner. One of us took the W for this episode.
Well, technically, on this show right now, Nico and I tied. So we're the first losers on the show.
Oh, you mean you mean of the people who are actually hosting the video? Oh, I see what you mean. Because there was a winner, it just wasn't one of us.
Within this video, there's 3 guys here, and not one of us took a W. I took the ultimate L. I'm here.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I would keep that there because I'm still in the lead. Joint first place now, but still, I like the.
Yeah.
I haven't been lower
than
boys, first or joint first this season.
Carry on.
So, okay, overall, Nico, we'll take your word on this one. Overall,
look, remember that you guys gave me. I get where you were coming from, but I did say that this was a dead pay-per-view. Listen, I'm not such an egotist that I can't say when I'm wrong. And in this case, I can honestly say there was not a single match where I thought that was a dud match. Every match on this pay-per-view is good. Some markedly better than others. But in terms of, did I enjoy what I was seeing? Yes. On every match, there was not one thing where I went, oh, this is shit. I wish I could fast forward. And I did watch it live. I think they're very clever, WWE, because they definitely bookended the whole thing with their 2 best matches. The opening and the ending were so good. So good. Like which is interesting because I'm normally not a fan of the way WWE book their triple threat matches. It's like, you get the klaxon horn at the beginning going, ha, everyone attack. Then one person gets thrown out, and it's usually 2 people squabbling, and then one interfering. And it's like, ugh. But they didn't really do that this time. It was kind of.
This is the thing. They never used to do it with their triple threats. They never used to do it with their triple threats, and it became their thing. Even like in the Money in the Bank, you've got a 6-man brawl going on, and everyone seems to get knocked out, and it's 2. One climbs in, knocks another one out, and I don't like that system. So it's good to see that they're toying and going back with the old system, the original system of how these multi-person matches should go.
No, you see, coming from old school wrestling thing, WWE couldn't do triple threat for Save Their Life.
I agree with that.
The triple threats used to be horrible. Now they do the it's one-on-one with someone on the outside, and then they break it up, and then it's one-on-one, and it's just the three people taking turns, and then at the end, then they all hit their finisher, and one person push a person out and get the pin. But back in the days, it was just go, and it was three people in the ring. It was not managed properly. It was chaos. It wasn't even 2 versus 1. It was just nonsensical. I've been watching a lot of OWE again, and it's just Savio Vega and them together. It was
that turn between the sort of end of the Attitude Era before the Ruthless Aggression Era, sort of TLC time. I guess you'd say that's probably still Attitude Era.
I'd call it Invasion Era if we're going to be real.
Yeah, Invasion Era. So
that was not era.
It wasn't, but funnily enough,
the context
it wasn't an era, but it had some of the best wrestling in the modern day. It really did. SummerSlam 2000 still remains to this day my favorite pay-per-view ever. And funnily enough, the main event in that was Triple H, Rock, and Kurt Angle in the triple threat. It was really good.
Rock had no place in that main event. I will say that, but yeah.
Name a bad Kurt Angle match.
Sorry?
Name a bad Kurt Angle match.
It's not easy.
Him versus
the only one I can think of is the one when he became a Shield member. I think it was a bad match.
Good call.
It was just
did Kurt Angle ever fight the Great Khali? Because that would usually be a safe pull.
I don't know, because that would have been Prime Kurt, and Prime Kurt could have made the Great Khali actually look believable.
It wasn't Prime Kurt. That was Broken Kurt. He wasn't TNA at the time.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If he'd caught him just before he was released, you might have got it, but I don't know.
That was, trust me, that wasn't good Kurt. That was drugged up, a lot of pain, needed to go away and get some surgery. Instead, went to TNA and hurt himself even more.
Yeah,
anyway.
I agree. I remember cringing when I heard he signed with TNA. But going back to Hell in a Cell. So here's a match I do want to kick up on. Just it's at the top of my list, but it's the one that everybody in our list got wrong, and I believe probably the majority of people got wrong. KO versus
Ezekiel, yeah.
What kind of lead up or anything is there in that match?
What was interesting about it is, and it gave us something that WWE just don't do, which is clean finishes. Like it was literally, it went at 1,000,000 miles an hour, then it slowed down with chest chops, then it went again at 1,000,000 miles an hour, then it was finisher, stunner, got a 1, got a 2, got a 3. Holy shit, a clean finish. The only thing that worries now, I get the logic behind it. You've just had KO coming off of a loss at the last pay-per-view appearance against Stone Cold Steve Austin. He does need to get a win. But it does make me think, okay, so what with Ezekiel now? Remember I said in the group, and I spoke in riddle terms to not give any spoilers away for those who hadn't watched it. I was like, I'm surprised, which is nice. I like seeing KO win on pay-per-views because he doesn't get to do that enough. But then what's been the whole point of building up Ezekiel? Because I feel like he's just going to be fucking around with the 24/7 title now.
Do you know how messed up this is? At the end of the night, in the morning when I watched it, I was like, oh, damn, I lost. But I only lost by one match. I forgot about this match.
Yeah.
When you came back and put in there, it's 2. I was like, what is the second one?
Do you know what?
So long.
I will agree on that. I bypassed it. So you know that some matches you just think are a given?
Yeah.
The one that kept my eye out was Corbin Moss. Because I was like, well, did I win? Did I fail? That one felt like such a given that I went back to Wikipedia. I was like, oh shit.
That, by the way, a lot of people will say it's obviously the main event or the first match, and I even said that the pay-per-view is bookended. That match was fucking great. Moss and Corbin went to town on each other. It wasn't a no holds barred the likes of something like Stone Cold and Rikishi back in the day.
That was a mud thumping. I don't actually think Rikishi got one offensive move in that.
No, he did not.
So he just took a beating. But yeah,
no, he did not. And yes,
he did it for Rock.
He done it for someone. He done it for the paycheck. He didn't do it for fucking
real. Rikishi got fucked in that match, but no, there wasn't any crazy amounts of copious violence. Although the ending was quite there's an interesting neck spot: chair, steel steps, join the dots. But they went at 1,000,000 miles an hour, man. Like these two put on a show, and it again made me look at the whole thing and go, why does Corbin not get more shots? He's so good. He's such a good heel.
He's a good heel.
I felt it needed him to, especially because Moss won the previous one. I can't remember what the last pay-per-view was before this.
Backlash.
WrestleMania Backlash, yeah. I felt it needed to balance. We needed to balance the pendulum in order to give it something for this feud to go forward. Because I actually believe Moss, Madcap Moss, whatever he's called at the moment, could do quite a bit underneath the Happy Corbin learning tree in a feud. And I think him just continuously taking the W's doesn't give it that feud to invest in people. Whereas here's where I would have liked the traditional you win, I win. Let's see what comes next. But that's that one. Talking of stuff that makes no sense.
Go on.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I actually, this was the one that you can even see in the prediction when I was talking, and I was like, "Oh, it's between me and you, Nico. Come on, man. Otis ain't losing."
So you remember I said that Cedric Alexander would come out and use 100 magic power points to cast distraction. Yeah. He just did it on the wrong person.
This is the part that confuses me even more. It's like, what are we doing? Because I'm still trying to figure out how he's meant to be on Hurt Business 2.0 side. He comes out, almost chucks him out. Like what?
Almost chucks him out, and MVP said very categorically, clearly, there is no more Hurt Business. That was part of the promo on the night. There is no more Hurt Business. It is done. What was really weird was after the match, bearing in mind that Cedric, that Mr. Alex has been fucking around with Bobby Lashley for like the last, 4 months.
Yeah.
Now he's got involved in his match. Bobby Lashley comes up to me, goes, "I really like the way you stood up for yourself. Never do it again." It was like, huh? So you see what I mean? Like the matches themselves weren't, but when he said never do it again, it was like, don't get involved in my matches again, don't make me look weak. But I respect the fact that you did that. It's like, what message are we sending here? So this is why I was saying it was a strange pay-per-view, because there were no bad matches per se, but some of the story threads were like, what the fuck?
So this is an interesting one. The thing is, we had the chance of building Omos. I'm still believing that he will get drafted to SmackDown, or the New Day will get drafted to Raw, and we will see this man attempt to twerk. I stick by it. Nico believes it's the 24/7 title. Either way, we're not far off, because it's
he'd be a good 24/7 champ, I'm not even kidding. If you had Omos fucking around with that belt, you could actually have a new kind of.
No, I'm so sorry.
Forget legitimizing
it. Waste. It's a waste of time.
You have a new gimmick with it. The gimmick now has been like all of this wedding bullshit that they've been doing. They need a new gimmick now for that belt. The new gimmick is now like everyone rushing Omos and no one can get him down. So you could have like shots of him having 20 people around and going, I am Godzilla.
Be real though. Would you care? Is when that comes on,
but I don't care now. I don't care now. The 24/7 title is literally just a fun distraction now and then. Sometimes it's interesting because
take out the word fun.
No, I won't. There are times. Yes, there are times where there's some of those sections have actually made me laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but I have laughed.
Fair enough.
Is it with my boy, the blackest man in WWE?
Truth.
For anyone on pod, that is black, so it's not a racial slur that came out there.
Am I? Oh my God, you're being racist now. He's just claiming everyone else is black. He said he don't see color. Everyone on pod.
When our truth is there, it is a world of fun. But Reggie's been gold, man. Reggie has been gold. Although I love the way his French accents magically disappeared.
Our truth was gold when it was him and Carmella. I think Reggie's taken over right now. I think that's the way I see it. I see Reggie and somewhat Tozawa as like the front runners of the.
He's just gold.
Tozawa, you mean Mr. Tamina? Yeah,
Mr. Tamina.
Oh wow!
Yo, this is what I'm saying.
The one who's allowed to carry the Sooka surname, considering the other one dropped Taker on his head. So.
Oh.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a few things you're not completely clued up on. Like there are fun spots in the 24/7 title, and what this pay-per-view proved to me is that AEW women's division is so much better than WWE's at the moment. Like, oh my God, like you just saw 3 women there, and then you're literally looking there going, there is no one else. Fuck.
Everything pretty much right now, because compared to what we saw a week before this, compared to now, it's just, we shouldn't compare 2 different companies because they're 2 different companies and 2 different things. But
we're talking about divisions.
Divisions, everything, the entire division, everything. Right now, look at what's it called again? Look at the pay-per-view. We're going to talk about later. A wrestler got injured, but still carried on. In the other company, they could replace him with so many different people. In this one, who could they replace him with?
You can't.
Exactly.
You can't. They've literally, it's a strange one. People are saying that AEW's roster is bloated. I think it's not bloated. It's just WWE's is really small. Like
it's not even small. It's just mismanaged.
They had the best roster.
WWE does not have a small roster. It's a mismanaged roster.
They had the best. The thing is, we think it's a small roster, but if we look at people that's probably just sitting at home, there are people that's probably still around that you just forgot about.
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, right, they're still with WWE. Yeah, well, Wyatt,
you're talking about
is he back? We don't know.
Like, let's talk about the likes of a Ziggler, correctly booked.
Hang on. I got one for you. Who are the 2 members of the B team?
No, they're gone. They're gone.
Nope.
No, they've been released.
No, they haven't.
Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel both got released. They just
who is Bray Wyatt's brother?
Bo Dallas.
He's gone.
So Curtis Axel, the other one.
He's a
producer.
Was on Raw. They've just hired him as a producer.
I saw him as a fucking in his suit and shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's back as backstage. He's a backstage hand now. But we're gonna cut one more thing. You know, Bo Dallas was Bolieve thing. Did you hear what his finisher? What he wanted his finishers to be? Well, the internet wanted it to be. He agreed to it, but they said no. He was meant to put you like in a little
crossface or something like that.
Crossface, and while he's got you in a crossface, he tells you, "Don't tap. You can get out. I believe in you. Don't tap." Well, I mean, I was like, that would have been amazing. And
it would have been gold. It would have been absolute gold.
That would have been good. But yeah, no, we're keeping it a short show today, guys. So keeping it on the pay-per-view. Cool. Judgment Day. I mean,
hold on, just quickly. There is a rumor that Bobby Lashley could now be trying to call out Roman. I don't know if that's actually something.
That's not what happened on Raw. He's fucking around with the US title now.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Yes, remember, there's the person that was going to have the US title is no longer around.
It was so weird, bro. It was so weird. After his match against Omos, he grabbed a fake, a replica title from someone in the crowd, like, let me borrow this a moment, and like held it up and said, this is what I'm coming for. So there was a whole thing with him after the match going, I want the world title again. And then literally the next night on Raw, he's fucking asking Theory for a match. It's like,
I have a feeling what Den just said is actually linked to it. Someone else was meant to be going for the US title. And he's now injured.
Do you think Cody?
Yes.
It
you think Cody? You both? I will not listen to that noise.
You have to wonder why you would have a man lift one title, then go for the title beneath it. It's weird. It just begs the question.
Why would Cody, who since day one when he's come back has said, I'm going after the world title?
It's too soon.
No, forget the too soon part. He's the American Nightmare with the American flag on his neck, with the American belt title.
The American belt doesn't mean anything in WWE.
No, he will make it mean something. Bobby Lashley. Think of John Cena. When John Cena had the title, it meant nothing until he had a great match every week. Put a star with the title and an elevated title. He
could have stayed in AEW fucking around with the TNT title then, guys. He hasn't come to WWE. His whole storyline is premeditated on him doing what his dad couldn't and making his dad proud.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
After
I reckon it's post-Mania.
After Mania.
I think it's post-Mania.
But he's going for the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. He can hold
shenanigans. To quote the winner of this pay-per-view, nefarious antics. He didn't
win.
No, he didn't. It was Leon, wasn't it? My bad.
Yes, Leon. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But
surprised because he was the most calmest, quiet one in the group. So I think this is going to happen. The victory is going to be this way. I should have copied him.
Right. Let's move on to your beef right now. And we will delve into the world of Raw here. The Club 2.0 versus the House of Baker. Here we go. AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day, which is comprised of Edge, or was comprised of Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley.
Can I say something quickly? Yeah. Big Tone once again did his thing. Call great spots. Who did he say could join them? Would be great to join them. It happened.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not taking away from him. Cool. I remember saying it because I was like, it's either Ciampa joins or Balor joins, but which way does it go? And he's like, yeah. And it was between the two. And what I quote Big Tone for, or credit Big Tone for, is when I mentioned Balor, he says Balor is not meant to be a follower; he's meant to be a leader, which then leads into the rest of this story. And that's why I give him a lot of credit. Because like, I didn't see that shit coming. I didn't see that.
No one did, because it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. Hence my beef.
Why would you see it coming if it makes no sense? If this guy's making a group, make him make the group. Make Balor be there at least a week. Give it one pay-per-view, then turn.
So
not.
Here's where I as I've not made any secret of, I've not been a fan of this group since day one. Edge's entrance at Mania I thought was really cool, really, really cool. But then the actual group is dead. The initial argument or initial suggestion, which was telling me, hold your horses, let's see what happens, was based on it could be like a new Evolution. My argument to that was I never liked Evolution. I hated their promos. I think they did good for Randy Orton for sure, and arguably good for Batista. Yeah, I can see the logic.
Which then says mission complete for Evolution's mission statement.
Yeah. 100%. I just didn't particularly like them because I'm a guy who, like, for me to be a great wrestler, you don't just have to be good in the ring. You have to be a good promo cutter, which is why I rate Jericho so highly, which is why I rate MJF so highly, which is why I say The Rock is the greatest ever. Cena's up there for me too.
Shawn Michaels.
Ugh. Shawn couldn't cut a promo for shit.
No, do you know?
I'm sorry, Canada. No,
that was good.
The thing about Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels was
stay on target.
No, sorry, you brought it up. I have to defend it.
I did.
Shawn was limited to an era where it had to be squeaky clean, and he pushed it as far as he could. He opened the door for the Attitude Era, and that's the way I see a Shawn Michaels promo. Shawn can cut promos. I think Shawn is one of the
rules, and we will break them. This is actually a real voice, by the way. That.
But yeah.
Anyway, Judgment Day.
It's going back. Yeah. The
Judgment Day.
The Evolution. Sorry, the Evolution. Fuck's sake. They fulfilled their mission statement. As you said. I hated their promos. The fact of the matter is. It's like, shut up, Hunter. Please shut the fuck up.
Once again, that was Hunter. That was Triple H.
Triple H couldn't cut better promos than that. I've seen him do it when he was playing Hot Potato The Rock.
That's how he was at that time when he wanted to be Ric Flair, part 2.
Bro, there are other lines than there is the fact of the matter is. And you legitimately go and listen to an Evolution pay-per-view multiple times in the pay-per-view. He will drop that line. And
now, people like you, don't forget that one.
The fact of the matter is people like you. Right? Evolution achieved its mission statement despite the fact that I wasn't so hot on their promos, right? The argument you all raised towards me was give the Judgment Day a chance. It could be the new Evolution. Where that logic was always flawed is because Triple H, who is being managed by the human leather wallet Ric Flair, who is then overseeing Randy Orton, the generational gap made sense. There's less than 3 years between Edge and Damian.
Do you know what, bro? It's certain things. When you look at
experience.
I hear that. But you cannot be telling me he's grooming him to be the next generational guy when the guy ain't going to be around in the next generation. That's where the logic dies for me. So now what you've done is you with Judgment Day, you still have this one star. You still have Edge, right? Rhea, we all see the potential. Damien, for fuck's sake, AJ, you and me were going on for how long about how good that match
he was
had on NXT. Yeah, bro. I'm with you. I hear that. I'm a big Damien Priest fan. But was it potentially good for them to be under the banner of someone like Edge, who's a 30-year vet? Of course. I didn't like the presentation, which is why I call them the House of Beta, because then you don't watch enough AEW or indeed wrestling. It was like for like shadows and light. One comes into the light, next comes into the light, leader comes into the light, boom, music. It was like for like the same thing. And they were like a month later than the House of Black. And then people are trying to fucking play hopscotch semantics with me going, oh, but the Brood. It's like, this is nothing like the Brood. You're only saying it's like the Brood because Edge is in it and they happen to have a dark theme to them. Legitimately, if you were to play a video of the House of Black and the House of Beta, they are identical. It's actually quite ridiculous that not more people have picked up on this.
I think people...
Okay.
You put
after what happened on Raw recently,
yeah,
recently, last night, is it very similar still, or are they going a different path now?
No, now they're going on a different path. But the problem they've got now is they've lost their star power, because this is why I said they are legitimately a team of losers. Rhea Ripley is the most certified of all three of them, which is a madness to say considering how she's being presented. At least she's had a world title run, a women's world title run, and I think 2 tag team runs now.
Yeah.
She's done bits since she's come up from NXT. Damian Priest has won the US title, and when he helped, this is why I don't want Cody going near that title. Damian Priest has held the US title, and the result of that is he didn't get on TV for 6 months. His title run for US title run was more dead than Shinsuke Nakamura's both of his intercontinental title runs. Like, they were dead, they weren't existent. Wow. And Finn Balor, as much as I think he is a great fucking wrestler, this isn't a question of debate. What has he done since he came back years ago from that injury which stripped him of the Universal title? He's had a US title run, and like Damian Priest, that basically meant you're not on TV anymore. He's had an intercontinental title run, not on TV anymore. So much so that he had to go and reinvent himself back in what WWE have clearly shown to be developmental. We can call it the third brand all we want. That's how we see it.
That's dead now. That's dead. It's back to development.
Even Black and Gold, we all saw it as a third brand. WWE very much like, you're a developmental show. We didn't like that, but that is how they did it. It's even more dead now, right? So you have effectively got a team made up of a bona fide woman who's not getting the push that she should be getting. Rhea should be fucking around with Ronda Rousey. Maybe that happens. Maybe this whole conversation changes then. But at the moment, you've just removed your biggest star. You're ripping off another company's style, and you've got legitimately, statistically, not in my opinion, statistically, 2 of the biggest TV time losers in WWE. That's not because they're bad wrestlers. They're awesome wrestlers. The way the company presents them and books them is as losers. This group is retribution.
So
as what I'm going
to give a little prop to WrestleManiac as well, because he had said exactly the same thing. WrestleManiac.uk on Insta said very much the same as you. Why would Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley get rid of the Hall of Famer, the multi-time champ that is Edge, in favor of Finn Balor, who's not done diddly since winning that title for a week, for a day, for a few hours?
Just because I saw what you were typing in the group, you can see what I actually put in there. When I just at me when you start talking about this, because I went on watching my highlights, and I was like, well, that makes no sense. That's literally what came out of my mouth. Sitting on the bus, watching on my phone, I went, well, that makes no sense.
Yeah,
that really makes no. And I actually trying to justify what I'm like. Let him join. Let him lead. Let him do a rock. Let him join the group and try to undermine Edge. Undermine Edge. I'm not going and do that stupid ass. So what's Edge going to do? Edge is going to turn babyface now, fight against them?
This is the point.
You've been a dastardly heel for how long, and now you're going to be a babyface because you got taken out?
And it's to me.
Is he going to team? Is he going to team with AJ now to get back at him?
So here's where this is where my beef kicks off with this thing, right? the feud with this whole Judgment Day did not start with Finn Balor. It started with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in that. Now, we're all aware that Finn Balor can be the demon. So yes, in that relevancy, he is closer linked to the dark side. Hence why that's where the idea first came. Like,
but the mystique of the demon is gone.
That's done. The demon's lost every time.
The demon's lost now. And how did the demon lose? Falling off the top turnbuckle. They present him as a loser.
Well, this is the problem. And this is where I'm like, I can get...
Great.
There's a part where I could feel that they're going to give you this whole idea of, you know, the rebellious team, that a younger generation making a name for themselves, despite the fact that the age gap between Finn Balor and Edge is nothing, literally near enough nothing, right? I get all of that. I get it that Edge is a part-timer. There's no in-betweens on that. Balor could take it that bit further. But going back to what Den said, let's build on that. The fact that you're going to take a guy who has lost consistently to you guys, because this is what happened at Hell in a Cell. It's not that the club took the victory and then they spin it that they've taken Balor as a leader. Edge won the freaking match. And if I'm not mistaken, credit to you, you said, I bet you Balor eats the pin. If I'm not mistaken, he missed the coup de grace, took the spear, lost, and now these guys are following him. I get it. The other side,
that makes it worse.
The losers are following.
Here's another point which makes it very scary. I don't want to call them Retribution. I really don't, because so far they've got wins.
But they are
even though they've now changed to the leader who probably remove all the wins.
Yep.
Take the club. Yeah, the club being.
Thank you. You are touching my point now. You had Balor and AJ there ready.
Hold on. I'm going to make this worse. You have AJ Styles, Gallows and Anderson. You have Finn Balor, Gallows and Anderson. It worked twice with AJ, flopped twice with Balor. Right? I really rest on the laurels that I hope this can work. We will see that Finn teases, and it can maybe reinvent the mystique. It's the same way, like, to me, the Fiend pretty much died with the Rollins feud, right? I'm hoping this can reinvent the mystique of the demon, right? Push with it, make it tease to the fact that you don't make me bring it out. I think I think the only way to build this, he needs to take AJ to town. That's where the feud has to go. He needs to be the evil leader of this group and get the W over AJ Styles. And why I don't know why.
I don't care about that match.
The reason behind it.
Why?
I don't care about that
because this stable sucks. I've been saying this for how many weeks now, and y'all have been bantering me. Here you go.
I don't have a problem with any of them being teamed up. This is the problem.
No, I don't. No.
Where we're going.
I don't have a problem with any of them being teamed up because they're all good wrestlers. I have a problem with what I'm seeing on TV with the three of them being teamed up. House of Beta. There's no debate. They're good wrestlers.
I stay optimistic that it can work, but the reasoning behind it is going to be flawed because you were the guy who took the L. You took the L and you kicked out the guy who got the W. That's the problem. I think the three of them actually works better than with Edge, but it needs to be developed really strong. This is the last
Edge. Have the three of them there and have Edge as just the manager. Why couldn't I have the three of them and have Edge and off the side? Edge don't wrestle
exactly. And I hate to bring the other guys in.
Have Balor saying this. I just got a message from whatever Edge's name is on this now. So Edge, I've got a message from Edge, and then carry on. Them three are the only ones you see on TV, but they still got Edge in the group, and Edge is just leading from a distance.
I hate to say it, AEW proved that with a vet like Sting, they can still have an impact if used sparingly. Sting, AJ, you were very, very hesitant about getting on board the Sting train, and obviously because I'm a mark man for Sting, I was like, but come on, it's Sting. He's proven that when used sparingly, he can still do bits.
I've got to be honest, I don't like what I'm seeing with Sting.
What?
Are you kidding me? He elevated that guy with a half face mask.
Yeah. I know. It's one of those things.
He did what Edge should have been doing with this stable, bro.
It's one of those things. I just don't. It's for me. I'm just uncomfortable seeing Sting as a manager. Sting, the mystique of someone like Sting.
He just took a fucking bump.
I know he took the bump. I'm not disputing those bits, and sometimes I'm like, Jesus Christ, Sting, be careful. You had a bad day. That's why the other.
You get me,
right? I get that side. When Sting performs, it's that. But seeing the legend that is Sting sitting in the corner, of a superstar. It's like hearing the Undertaker becoming a manager. It doesn't work for me.
No, it does, because Sting for 1997 didn't wrestle.
Bro,
he just fell from the sky.
It was the mystique of what made me come out. Away. Him just being the learner and just I'm just slightly uneasy with it. I'm just slightly uneasy. It's just me. It's just something I can't.
That's fine. Maybe not an example that resonates with you, but you do he's elevated Darby. He's done what Edge should have done with this group, and now we've got all of these issues. Like Edge's new entrance music has only been happening since Mania. That was the first time we
Metalingus is going to come back.
It's 2 fucking months, and now exactly what Metalingus is back on this day. I see clearly. It's like, well,
I'd be truthful. We are. You know, I feel like this entire Raw was been a last minute hot shot. Let's fix things booking.
Yeah.
It felt like they went, crap. We've got so much of our stars out right now. We need to prepare for this thing to come up. Oh, we need Edge to be in there, but we can't have him as a heel. So how do we turn him face? Get Balor to hit him and become thing. We need someone for the US title. We get you to use. It just feels like the script got ripped up.
It's another fucking. I don't be surprised if we find out at some point tomorrow from What Culture or someone like that McMahon did his usual 11th hour tear up of the script. It wouldn't surprise me.
But you know,
we have been going 35 minutes, so we need to talk about the last big thing because that's going to take a while.
But again, you know, this is one of the things I put out. You know what? Let's bring it out now because it's going to lead to it anyway.
Yeah.
Part of what has led to this whole breakdown of what the hell is going on is this gentleman here, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, Seth Rollins. Yeah.
I should have actually. No, it's not. It is actually here. I'm just going to upload this very quickly. It's going to be the thumbnail because as Cody pulled back his gown, that's not within the match. That was opening the match. Now, using it, we had this pre-Rushmore and we talked about credit to him, and it's something that we're going to talk about in the history of wrestling. Now, my issue is no company. Now, I know he's picked up the mic and said, no one forced me. This was all me. No company should ever, the Triple H has torn a quad or hamstring.
And he carried on.
Yeah.
Stone Cold broke his neck, won the match.
Yeah. Once again. Finish
those matches started. Yeah.
Yes.
No man should ever have a pectoral muscle ripped off the bone, have clear internal bleeding. Like there's no in between on that. Right? Let's be real.
That's bruising.
I heard a joke.
Bruising, whatever you want to call it.
But I heard a joke saying Cody loved to bleed so much he's now starting to bleed on the inside.
Yeah, that's why I think I misread it. I'll get it. But the bruising, no man should have to have that kind of go into a match like that. I don't care what the main was. Bobby Lashley got injured prior to Elimination Chamber.
I agree.
They spun it round.
I agree with what you're saying. Do you think there's a small part of Cody that thinks, shit, if I don't do this match and if I take time off, I'm going to stop being the new shiny toy and I'm going to get pushed down?
Right, ready for it? He took the match. He can talk after the match. He still has to have time off.
That's not what he's saying.
He's going to still come out and wrestle with his half chest.
He wants to be at Money in the Bank. That's in 4 weeks.
I think he got written off. I think he got written off with Seth's attack. I'm sure that's what that was. Possibly. Seth's attack at the end was the write-off. It was like, I can still go. The sledgehammer signed it off.
Yeah.
So he might.
That means they're going to do Rollins Brody 4.
Oh no! You never know. It could be some random person, another call up. They'll just call someone up to have a match against him.
Do you know what it is? It might even lead to heel.
Do you want to hear the worst part about all this? No, Cody can never be a heel now. He's a babyface.
Stop calling that heel shit, AJ. I hate it when you do that because it happens and then it fucks up.
Yeah, but listen, I'm talking about the fact of to avoid him going there. You would see him come out, think he's going to attack Rollins. He does it elsewhere. That's the only. We can't have Rollins Rhodes 4 just yet. It will rebuild into something that we don't need. That's the problem.
He's already beaten him 3 times now, right? And one with half of a chest.
That's why number
one
4
with half a
can't
chest.
happen.
That's the end of that feud. there's no justification for this feud to carry on. So
someone else could call him out. Someone else could call him out on his return. It doesn't. It could just be dead in the water that way.
His return.
That's the only way to call him back as a face.
I'm not going to speculate on how they book him moving forward. Well, that's the. It's funny you mentioned that. Because John Cena came back from a similar injury in record time, didn't he?
But John Cena's not
Royal Rumble.
The neck He's injury. Not human. No. He had a surgery. He had a pec injury, and he had a surgery. He came back to Royal Rumble, which made the people that was booing him because he came back so
cheered
him because.
And then they realized that wait, we hate this guy.
Yeah, I did that so many times. Yeah, crap. Boo!
I love that man.
I love the guy. I love the man, John Cena. Yeah. I hate the character, John Cena.
I love everything about him. He's one of my favorite.
My reason for that, I don't want to go into because I'm not running out of time, is just the fact that he was just Superman for too long. And whenever there was a match, he's just going to win. And he buried so many. He didn't bury so much people. The company had him winning so much just to sell merch and stuff. Yeah. And I know it's not him because he would do whatever it takes for the fans and whatever it takes for everyone. So there's a couple of times when I was sitting in the front row, John Cena walked past and I went, boo! I love you still. Boo! Yay! You're in conflict. I want to cheer you, but I can't cheer you. I'm above a certain age. I'm not allowed to cheer you.
I always loved him.
It was so dumb.
Always loved him.
But he's a funny
look, it's.
I need to meet him.
I am worried about what the future holds for Cody now.
I think Cody's future is ironclad. I think they know where it's going. No. Listen, for the sheer fact that we talked about Cody was meant to be going for the US title, yeah, before going for the main title.
Hate that, but carry on.
Just hold on. Just go.
Yeah, I hear you.
So this could essentially just remove the part that you hate. Give him time to rehab. Let him come back. Call it a Rumble. Right?
Rumble.
Where are we now? June?
Yeah, Rumble.
Well in time for the Rumble.
Yeah. Come back at Rumble. Win the Rumble.
Have another pop return.
Problem is we're meant to have Rock Roman, which makes it kind of
yeah. Return the Rumble.
No one says Rock Roman has to be the belt, you know.
There's a pay-per-view before the Rumble.
Eliminate for the Rumble, TLC.
Yeah, but you don't want a defeated Cody Rhodes before that match.
Nope.
Like the
run can do by nefarious ways. Yeah, we're all saying it now.
It's an interesting
NFT.
I don't know where it fully. It's difficult. He was the golden goose for them at the moment while Roman's on sabbatical, and this is why I put out the reel that I did the other day. It's like, with all of these guys injured, who do we see rising? And like you can see that they're trying little different elements. You know, I think giving Lashley Theory,
Riddick Moss.
I think as well. I don't know if you've seen the videos out there. Cena's been calling out Theory's name. Yeah, so let him fuck about with someone like Lashley as well. Legitimizing that bit more.
Well, that's what happened on Raw, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So hearing that, it's like
Theory has got potential to be like the next Randy Orton if he plays his cards right.
Some of course.
Is Randy injured as well?
Randy's out. Yeah,
kayfabe injured.
Taking time off. All right. Well, he needs it because he's been working quite hard lately.
Yeah,
making a joke about
that. At that age, you've got to take some time out.
But
so this is the thing.
Randy has been a slow motion, not doing a job. Now he's actually having fun, so he's been doing the actual work. He went to house shows. Yeah. He came to the house show in the UK. Not everyone came over. He came over. But what I'm saying is, the problem I have with WWE right now is going all the way back to the 80s when they strapped their rocket to Hulk Hogan and went, that's what we need to do. Pick one person and strap a rocket to them. So it was Hogan era. Then it was Brett, Shawn.
Rock.
Brett era, then Shawn, then Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H,
Cena.
And then Cena. And Cena went for quite a while, and then they went, we're going to go for Roman Reigns. And then the transition from Cena to Roman was a bit jarring, but it actually happened.
The funny thing about the transition from Cena to Roman is very awkward because it had the Punk era, which should have been something bigger, but the politics got the better of it. Then it nearly became the Bryan one, but I'm sorry to say, and I'll be honest with it, the Bryan era happened, but it just didn't have enough to carry it forward. And that's why that died. And then in that time, you still had the Roman era kind of peeking in, and everyone just saw.
Guys, sorry, I just want to stay on target with this.
Yeah. I'm just we're just looking at the future of wrestling and why it's at this state now. Whereas instead of saying, right, Cody's out, this is where it goes, we're now in this balance.
I'll say this. I think it's going to go to the Cody era. It could have gone to the Cody era, and that sounds you shouldn't do that, but it could have gone to the Cody era.
I'll say this about Cody to answer my own question that I put in the WhatsApp group earlier. I do think that to be a legend, whether you're a living legend or a Hall of Fame legend, whatever, your career has to be based on moments. Mick Foley's Hell in a Cell bump, Guerrero and Benoit sharing the ring together, fucking Hogan throwing away the red and yellow for the black and white. You know, legends have body slamming Andre the Giant. There are moments with legends, and I think not just because of his return, but that Hell in a Cell, the fact whether we agree that he should have done it or not is irrelevant at this point. He did it, and we are going to be for years, maybe for the rest of our lives, whenever someone ever says, "Oh, that wrestling shit's fake," it's like, really, watch this. That's going to be something that we refer to again and again and again. For me, he's legend status for doing that.
I just have a feeling this won't.
Don't say it's a work.
No, I'm not saying it work. I'm not saying it work. I'm not saying it work. It won't be legendary. Yeah, people have asked it the right way because they thought it was makeup. Because no one was stupid enough to come out with their chest ripped in half. But anyway, what I'm saying is, we talk about legendary moments. This will be a moment for now. I do not. Because WWE is not as mass. It's not as massive as it once was. It's not
I'm not trying to compare one legend moment to another.
Compared to one moment to
I'm just saying this is a moment. This is a moment, and I think it puts him in legend status.
It puts him in a, sorry to say, oh my God.
And when you consider that he went and set up the other company, like his career now is going to be legendary.
See, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing. With this whole legend status, with this whole title run we're looking at, that is very short-sighted to go out and take a match of that caliber.
Yeah.
It's very short-sighted. And this is where you don't want to be the guy, and he's done it in AEW. You've won the title, then you have to retire the title. Just like drop the title because of an injury. It's not the best move on his part. Like, a company shouldn't have allowed it. It shouldn't have allowed it.
At the same time, though, I keep asking
cards subject to change.
Yeah, cards subject to change, but change to what?
That's the problem.
That's the biggest. I know they upset at the end of the day, and I know what Cody's brain went through was like, if I don't perform tonight, I am letting all these people down that come to watch the pay-per-view.
He was the poster guy.
It was all about Cody and Seth. That was the only Hell in a Cell match.
I do want to take a moment to give Seth Rollins fucking credit, though. To wrestle with a guy who's
coming out as really American Dream. Yeah.
Like, not just that, but for him to
look after him.
Yeah. For him to sell that well with a guy who's injured.
No buckle bombs that night.
No.
Could you imagine?
No, but you have to give kudos where it's due. Like, he is one of the best in the world at what he does, Seth. Yeah. He's so good.
Yeah.
Seth,
he is so
I'll give
good.
You this. Seth's a Bret Hart. He's the guy you put him in the ring in the case of.
It's funny you say that because Bret was not a big fan of Seth. There was a few times he thought Seth was too dangerous.
He is.
Well, he's dangerous, but that's a new generation. The entire freaking roster is.
MJF disagrees.
MJF said he's not one that would drop people on their heads.
And he's not. He's correct.
Yes. Him. What's it called again? Miz. That's why they compare each other all the time. The people compare them. I don't know why, but
he's such a better wrestler than Miz. It's not.
I know.
That's such a fucking joke. That comparison.
But people do that. You know they do that. It's because they both wear suits. They're both.
It's similar gimmicks, isn't it?
Actually,
and it's not even that close. But yeah,
it's not.
Yeah,
thank
it's just
you.
the fact that they are safer workers. But I'm not going to say that. I'm saying go back, keep it on target. It's a case of going all the way back when I saw that he was injured and he had a match. So I could think to myself was like, why on earth would he do that? And I thought as well, what could WWE have done? End the night at the match before that, or have Seth come out and just make a promo? Seth versus
You there's always a phone call to change something. There's always a phone call to change something.
But who? Right now, we're going to call back Roman Reigns and Roman. Can you come in quickly and let's have a quick match?
No, well, Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. There's always one answer. Let me in.
No, fuck that. Fucking.
He wasn't even there, and people.
I'm not going to lie.
Done that to try to save it.
If they played it right,
Wyndham Rotunda, huh?
If they played it right, he would have got attacked by Seth even more. It would have been an early callback, and it wouldn't have helped for the story. Call back Randy. Randy would have been perfect. Right? There's the legacy history behind it. You could have had.
There's your legacy history.
Well, it would have been cool, but it wouldn't have worked. Randy would have come in, it would have blown everyone apart. A buckle bomb would have just extra furthered the damage. So now he's damaged both guys. Like, you could have done something else. Randy's not legit injured. Cody is. Like,
so how are we finishing this podcast then? Because
Randy's contract is amazing. The contract right now is amazing. He actually talked to AEW, and because I talked to AEW, he's got one of those sweet ass contracts where he can have them. WCW contract from back then. He's got one of those now. I've done my amount of days. I'm going home now.
Yeah,
can you imagine Randy in AEW? Jesus,
it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
No, he actually did. He had discussion with Tony Khan. This is why he's got such a sweet contract.
I don't doubt he had a discussion with Tony Khan as a negotiation tool. I don't think he's ever signed it. Never.
Taker spoke to Bishop.
We're waiting for the day. We're waiting for the day. He actually got the Forbidden Door open and Cena walks through it.
That's some scary shit, but very possible. But guys, here we go. So
you think that's possible, huh?
I'm gonna leave it with two questions. One, what are your views? Should the company or should Cody have really allowed that to happen? And going back to the reel that I put out there, AEW have lost. Well, Kenny's still on the shelf. Punk is on the shelf. Right now, WWE have kayfabe injury with Randy. Roman's on a break. Cody's out. Who would you guys like to see grab those brass rings? That's the question to close it. Those are the two.
Booyaka, booyaka.
Apparently, there are pictures going around with the US title. So look out for a feud between Ray and Theory. Don't know what that means for Dominic, but hey, I was going to say who cares. Actually, let's go with it.
Great. We're going into the summer months. We've got a Clash of Champions thing coming up. Give it back to push. What's it called again? The man with the big sword.
Drew.
Yeah, push Drew again. With fans there now.
They need to save him for Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, push him from now for Clash. Clash is in September. That's no time. That's 3 months.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Could have worked. The same night as Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. But anyway, we deviate.
Let's wrap it there.
Yeah. So those are the two questions, guys. MOW News, hit us up there on Twitter, Ministry of Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just answer that question. Who should get the push? And more importantly, should Cody Rhodes have been allowed to step out with that? Was it very short-sighted? 2 say yes, 1 say no. So that's a nice one, guys. Do look out for the Ministry. We will be back sometime next week. No pay-per-views, just a bit of news. Join us more. You have the chance to interact. We do live. We have a live squad. So for our reigning champ at the bottom there, then the tech.
Yeah.
Myself, the one AJ. Oh my god, this is not too sweet Tonius. I'm with AJ. I'm still in silver screen mode. But for myself, the one AJ, Anthony Jordan.
And me, Nicolero, aka Double V, the Viceroy of Verisimilitude. Shout out to all of my Nicoholics.
All right, guys. We out. See you next week. See ya.
Peace.